This is a story about the platonic ideal of a grinder. Let me just give you the rundown real quick. This is the 30-second summary. If you only have 30 seconds, watch this part and then watch the rest of the video later if you're still interested. He is 5'5". This isn't about me, to be clear. He received 0 D1 offers. Again, still not about me. He went undrafted. Again, I know all these things technically match my description as well, but he was playing indie ball less than a year ago. And now this player is knocking on the door to the big leagues. If we're rating how much of a grinder he is on the 20 to 80 scale, he's a 100. So here is this player's senior year stats from 2018 at Alatoona High School in Ackworth, Georgia, where my grandparents used to live. 526 average, 573 on base, 691 slug. Also stole 17 bases in 39 games. Despite this, despite a very impressive senior year of high school, 0 D1 offers. That player's name, by the way, is Peyton Eales, and I believe he is a name worth knowing for 2025. So with no D1 offer in hand, Peyton Eales goes to Division II Cedarville to play ball for the Yellowjackets. He is a 4-year starter, a shortstop, and as you can see, continues to perform at a very high level. He has a career .382 batting average, .469 on base, and .505 slugging in his career with Cedarville. Despite this, he's still not considered one of the absolute top-of-the-line players in Division II baseball. You can see he fails to make the All-American team his senior year, first, second, or third team for all of Division II. He also fails to make one of the regional teams in the Midwest. This is the first team for the Midwest in 2022, second team as well. He is nowhere to be found. But thankfully, he is second team all-conference for the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. You can see him there at shortstop. Peyton Eales, Cedarville University. In terms of the spectrum, this puts him as better than Israel Espinoza of Lake Erie College, but worse than Aiden Brewer of Hillsdale College. So that's the whole story. Really good high school player, really good D2 player, but after 4 years of college, he's done. Right? Wrong. Because 2020 was, of course, a COVID-shortened season. Players got an extra year of eligibility, meaning he could be a 5th-year super senior and transfer. And transfer he did. In 2023, he played out his COVID super senior year at Division I Coastal Carolina in the Sun Belt, aka the Fun Belt. As a Chanticleer, he was arguably more impressive than he was as a Cedarville Yellowjacket. For instance, he was averaging about 25 walks per season with Cedarville. He walked 45 times his 1 year with Coastal Carolina. That gave him a .500 on-base percentage. He also stole more bases, 25 steals on average with Cedarville, 42 stolen bases to only 6 caught in his year with Coastal Carolina. Coastal's baseball program's a pretty big deal, and that's sort of indicated by the talent that Peyton Eales was surrounded by. He was most notably out-OPS'd by Caden Bodine, who is likely going to be a first-round draft pick this summer in 2025, as well as Derek Bender, who was a 6th-rounder for the Minnesota Twins last summer in 2024. But with regards to Peyton Eales, the draft we're concerned with is the 2023 draft, which followed the summer after his COVID super senior year with Coastal Carolina. The first name called that day was Paul Skeens. He, of course, signed for a record-breaking signing bonus with the Pirates. And after the 614th name was called, 20 rounds later, Peyton Eales went undrafted. I mean, even DJ Ungalele, who is a college quarterback and did not play college baseball at all, was selected by the Dodgers in the 20th round, but no Peyton Eales. And why is that? One thing to keep in mind is that in MLB draft terms, Peyton Eales is old. He's going to turn 24 a few months after his draft year. That makes him, 2 or 3 years older than the college juniors that are getting drafted ahead of him. And that means basically the gap between him and some of these college juniors is similar to the gap between the college juniors and the high school seniors. So he's just older than the typical draftee, and that would be one reason, beyond the height, beyond just sort of the profile, why he could be looked over. So that's the story, right? Exceptional high school player, exceptional D2 player, proves he can be an exceptional D1 player, but now it's time to enter the real world. Now it's time to learn LinkedIn, buddy. We all have a digital footprint. Mine is probably a lot bigger than it should be, but Peyton Eales is no exception. Maybe Peyton Eales, after 5 years of college baseball, it is time for you to put that bachelor's in civil engineering to work. I know you're a smart guy. I know you won a bunch of scholar athlete type awards throughout your baseball career. Maybe it's time for you to continue to work as a substitute / parapro for the Cobb County School District. Or maybe not. Maybe it's time to hop on board with the Chicago Dogs of the American Association. That's indie ball, folks. And because he joined right after college, he becomes one of the youngest hitters in the league, and also one of the best. He finishes 17th overall in terms of batting average, and he ends up with a higher OPS than some players who have played in the big leagues, like Delino DeShields Jr. and Odubel Herrera. Not just guys who cameoed in the big leagues, like guys who had actual big league careers. He is out hitting them straight out of Coastal Carolina. And does the opportunity come for him now? Does he get the chance now to play affiliated ball in a major league team's minor league system? No! No! And around this time, he's turning not to LinkedIn, but rather to YouTube to post his highlight videos to try to advertise his services. And I appreciate him for that because a lot of these clips you're seeing of him come from there. So check out Peyton Eales on YouTube, like and subscribe. So in February 2024, less than a year ago, he joins the Atlantic League's Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And you know what he does next? He has a power outburst. This is, of course, a classic scrappy, hit for average, steal bases type of player. 4 home runs in 47 games his last year at Cedarville. 4 home runs in 63 games his last year at Coastal Carolina. 3 home runs in 39 games with the Chicago Dogs of the American Association. And with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in the Atlantic League, he has 3 home runs in 6 games. And then finally, early in the 2024 season, thanks to his great performance in the Atlantic League, the Minnesota Twins come a-knocking, and as detailed in this excellent Baseball America article from author Phil Miller, it is the Twins farm director Drew McPhail who remembers signing him for $500, a $500 signing bonus for Peyton Eales. So does the 5'5", 180-pound Peyton Eales make it to minor league baseball and say, it's nice to be here. Maybe I can just stick around a little bit and prove that I belong? No, he rakes. He rakes. He destroys everybody. In A-ball, he has a .331 average, .448 on base, and .517 slug. Promoted to high A 5 weeks later. In high A, he's walking 20% of the time, striking out 6% of the time. That's a .473 on base percentage. Twins have some injury issues at AAA. They move him up to AAA. He never comes back down. In AAA, he has a .299 average, .419 on base, .500 slug in 64 games. He steals 20 bases at that level. That means across the entire 2024 season, he plays 111 games. His OPS is above 900. He steals 41 bases, and he's doing this the majority of his playing time at AAA. He doesn't just make it to minor league baseball. He excels in minor league baseball. Among Twins minor leaguers with at least 300 plate appearances on the season, he leads the minor league system in average, on-base percentage, and slugging. So with Peyton Eales finishing strong at the AAA level in 2024, there is opportunity for him in 2025 at the big league level with the Minnesota Twins. I'm looking at the second base position here in particular. Brooks Lee, Eddie Julian, Austin Martin even, all 3 of these guys were not particularly great at the big league level in 2024. There's opportunity here for Peyton Eales. He could become the ultimate underdog story and make his big league debut in 2025. And it's not just second base. There is serious utility here coming off the bench potentially at the big league level. We're talking about a guy who played second base, third base, shortstop, left field, center field, and right field in the minor leagues last year. And thanks to the power of StatHead, code Foolish20, we now know he would become just the 11th player listed height 5'5" or shorter to debut in the big league since the integration era, and only the 2nd player to meet that criteria in the last 50 years, alongside Esteban Quiroz. Keep in mind the obvious comparison, Jose Altuve is listed 5'6", even though he's probably 5'4", and of course Peyton Eales has taken notice. When it comes to his height, he has said, there's a lot of guys at the big league level I saw performing at my size. Guys like Jose Altuve, Dustin Pedroia, and Nick Madrigal, some of those guys showed me, hey, this is possible, and deep inside myself, I knew I could do it if I really wanted to. If Peyton Neals makes the big leagues for one day in 2025, he will make approximately 8 times his signing bonus. Until then, to save some money, I think he should use SeatGeek code FOOLISH for $20 off his first purchase. Not just baseball, guys. Here's some basketball tickets for this year. Looking at the Hawks game, this is rated a 10 out of 10 on the deal score, $46 each. That is including fees. This could be your view, guys. SeatGeek code FOOLISH.